In every age, men have suffered from the same silent wound, giving too much too quickly and wondering why women grow cold. You give your heart, your time, your devotion, yet she does not beg for you. She drifts away. Tonight, I, Niccolò Machiavelli, shall tear away the illusions and reveal the 5 hidden rules that bend desire to your command. Learn them, and women will not only follow you, they will beg for you. Listen closely, for what I reveal now is the very foundation of power, the silent force that makes men irresistible and women restless. It is not wealth, nor beauty, nor even strength that compels her to beg. It is mystery. Control through mystery is the first hidden rule, and it separates the common man from the man who commands desire. Understand this, and you will see why women chase some men while discarding others without a thought. Consider this: the man who exposes all of himself too soon, who lays out his heart like an open book, thinks he is being honest, thinks he is showing loyalty, yet in truth he is merely destroying his value. A story already told holds no intrigue, no suspense, no reason to linger. When a man explains everything, reveals his emotions at the slightest question, and confesses his every weakness, he leaves nothing for her imagination to grasp. And imagination, my dear listener, is the true battlefield of desire gone. When a woman cannot predict you, when she cannot see all of you, she becomes haunted by curiosity. What is he thinking? What is he hiding? What lies behind that controlled silence, that faint smile that never tells the whole truth? That is where the hunger begins. You must not mistake this for cruelty or coldness. Mystery is not about pushing her away. It is about drawing her deeper in, without her even realizing it. A man who cloaks himself in mystery becomes not just a lover, but a riddle, and riddles are irresistible. History itself has proven this truth. Kings who concealed their intentions controlled nations. Generals who hid their strategies conquered empires. And men who spoke less than they knew ruled over the hearts of women. Power is born in what you withhold, not in what you give away. A man who reveals everything is like a kingdom with its gates left wide open. Easily entered, easily conquered, easily abandoned. Ask yourself, why do women gossip endlessly about the man who says little, who rarely reveals what he truly feels? Why does the quiet man, who does not chase, seem to capture more attention than the loud one who begs for validation? It is because the unknown is far more powerful than the known. A man who leaves questions unanswered lives in her mind long after their encounter has ended. She replays his words, analyzes his silences, and invents meanings where none were spoken. Mystery turns you into a shadow she cannot stop chasing. To master this rule, you must learn restraint. Not every feeling must be shared. Not every detail of your life belongs on display. When she asks what you are thinking, offer only a smile. When she demands to know where you have been, give her an answer that satisfies without explaining everything. Let her imagination roam. Let her wonder. The more she wonders, the more she invests her energy into you. And when her energy is invested, her desire follows. But let me warn you, mystery does not mean silence without purpose. A man who is mute, who refuses to engage, is not mysterious but dull. True mystery lies in contrast. Give her glimpses, hints of warmth, fragments of truth, but never the entire picture. Speak just enough to ignite curiosity, then withdraw into silence. Offer her your presence, but leave parts of yourself untouched. It is this delicate balance that separates the strategist from the fool. A strategist gives pieces, never the whole, and each piece becomes more valuable because it is rare. Women are creatures of imagination. Their minds do not rest. They weave stories, create meanings, search for hidden messages in everything you do. If you give them nothing to question, their interest fades. If you give them endless puzzles, they will build entire castles in their thoughts, castles in which you are the king. That is the secret of mystery. You are not only controlling how she sees you, you are making her build her own version of you, one far grander than reality itself. She does not fall in love with you as you are. She falls in love with the mystery she cannot solve. Do you not see how this rule shifts the balance of power? The desperate man chases, reveals, confesses, and gives himself away freely. He is consumed by her judgment. But the mysterious man, he reveals nothing without purpose. He forces her to chase, to question, to seek his approval. She becomes the one who invests, the one who begs, the one who returns again and again, because she cannot put the puzzle to rest. And the longer the puzzle remains unsolved, the deeper her attachment grows. Control through mystery is not only a tactic in love, it is a law of power. Even with friends, with rivals, with allies, never show the full extent of your hand. Once a man knows all of you, he ceases to respect you. Once a woman knows every detail, she ceases to desire you. Hide your weaknesses. Conceal your plans. Leave gaps in your story. She will fill them with her imagination, and her imagination will always paint you as larger, more powerful, more captivating than you could ever claim yourself. Thick of the moon, how it controls the tides not by revealing itself fully, but by showing only phases. Think of the sea, how its depth terrifies and fascinates precisely because it cannot be seen in full. You too must be like this. Partially visible, partially hidden, always leaving something just out of reach. The more she strains to see you, the tighter you control her gaze. And once you control her gaze, you control her thoughts. Once you control her thoughts, you control her desire. And once you control her desire, she will not simply want you, she will beg for you. Men make the same mistake century after century. They believe that giving more of themselves will bring them love, that endless presence will bring endless devotion. Yet the truth, which most refuse to accept, is that abundance breeds contempt and scarcity breeds desire. The man who is always there, always available, becomes invisible. The man who withholds his presence wisely, who allows absence to sharpen the hunger, becomes unforgettable. This is the second hidden rule, and it is one of the most powerful forces that make women not only want you but beg for you. Think of it this way: what is common loses its value. What is rare becomes priceless. A diamond is not loved because it shines brighter than glass, but because it is scarce, hard to find, and difficult to obtain. The same principle governs human desire. A man who offers himself without limit becomes no different from glass. Useful perhaps, but unworthy of awe. A man who knows how to withdraw, to disappear at the right moment, transforms himself into a diamond, rare, sought after, and remembered long after he has left. Woman, though they may never admit it, crave this dynamic. When you are too present, she feels no urgency, no fear of losing you. But when you are scarce, when your presence cannot be taken for granted, her mind begins to shift. She begins to wonder where you are, why you are not beside her, who you might be with. Your absence becomes louder than your presence ever was. That is the paradox. Sometimes disappearing speaks louder than any words. Sometimes silence creates more craving, 1,000 declarations of love. The foolish man thinks love is maintained by constant attention, constant affection, constant sacrifice. He does not see that by giving endlessly, he cheapens himself. He becomes predictable, his every move expected, his presence no longer exciting but routine. Routine is the death of desire. Women do not beg for routine. They beg for what they cannot fully grasp, what they fear losing, what they know is slipping from their fingers. This fear, this sense of scarcity, ignites a desperation in them that comfort and abundance can never achieve. Understand this: scarcity is not about cruelty, it is about strategy. It does not mean you vanish forever, nor that you neglect her completely. It means you learn to master timing, appear when your presence will have the greatest impact, and withdraw when she expects you most. In doing so, you disrupt her expectations, you make her long for your return, and in that longing you gain power. Scarcity makes every word more valuable, every glance more meaningful, every touch unforgettable. History has shown this law again and again. When rulers were too accessible, they were despised. When they were scarce, when their audiences were limited, when their presence was a privilege, men lined up for the chance to stand before them. Kings understood this, emperors understood this, and so must you. A woman who sees you too often ceases to treasure your presence. A woman who must wait, who must wonder, who must hunger for your time, will treat you as a prize. Think of the banquet table. The man who stuffs himself until he can take no more feels nothing but sickness. The man who has only a taste, only a sample, leaves with his appetite sharpened, restless, eager for more. Scarcity sharpens her appetite for you. By not giving her everything, you ensure that her desire never dies, that her craving only grows stronger with each encounter. You must not see this as manipulation, but as the very essence of human nature. Too much of anything numbs the senses, too little excites them beyond control. Consider also how women test men. She will ask for more time, more attention, more proof of affection. The weak man obeys, thinking he is winning her love. But in truth he is killing her desire. For the more he gives, the less she values him. The strong man knows better. He gives enough to intrigue, enough to satisfy, but never so much that she forgets the taste of absence. In this way, she is always in pursuit, always slightly uncertain, always chasing what she cannot fully hold. Do you not see how scarcity places you in the position of power? When you are always there, she controls the pace, she dictates the terms. But when you are scarce, she is the one who adjusts, who reconsiders, who bends. She waits for your call, she longs for your message, she replays your last words in her mind, because she does not know when she will hear from you again. This uncertainty is not weakness. It is the very essence of control. The man who can make a woman uncertain is the man who owns her attention. And yet, I must warn you, Scarcity is an art. If you withdraw too much, you risk being forgotten. If you give too much, you risk being dismissed. You must strike the balance like a master musician who knows when to let the music play and when to let silence reign. A note played too often loses its beauty. A note withheld too long is forgotten. But when the rhythm alternates between sound and silence, the song becomes unforgettable. So it is with your presence. Be there just enough to remind her of your worth, but scarce enough that she fears losing you. There is also a deeper truth. When you make yourself scarce, you reveal your value to yourself. You are not a man desperate for approval, desperate for constant attention. You are a man with purpose, with a life that cannot be consumed entirely by her. She begins to realize that she does not own you, that she must fight for a place in your world. This fight, this uncertainty, this pursuit, this is what makes her beg. And when she begs, she gives you her power. This is the secret hidden in the shadows of scarcity. It is not only about how she sees you, but how she feels she must earn you. Every man stumbles on the same battlefield. He is either too soft and becomes enslaved, or too harsh and becomes despised. Women do not beg for the weak, nor do they surrender to the tyrant. They bow to the man who can command with strength yet disarm with warmth, who can lead without cruelty and comfort without weakness. This is the subtle art of power balance, the third hidden rule. To master it is to hold her heart and her obedience at once. Understand this. The weak man believes that affection alone will win her devotion. He bends at her every demand. He gives when he should withhold. He apologizes when he has done nothing wrong. He mistakes submission for love, but all he breeds is contempt. A woman may use such a man, but she will never beg for him, for he is already hers without effort. His love is cheap, his devotion easy, and what is easily gained is never treasured. On the other hand, the tyrant believes that fear alone will command her loyalty. He rules with coldness, with cruelty, with unrelenting demands. He silences her voice, crushes her spirit, and thinks this dominance will secure her forever. But fear is a brittle chain. It holds for a time, but eventually shatters. A woman may submit to such a man in body, but in spirit she plots her escape, waiting for the moment when his throne collapses. And collapse it will, for no reign built on terror alone can last. The man of true power, however, knows that women crave a balance. They long for a leader who can protect without suffocating, who can guide without enslaving. This man does not bow like the weakling, nor does he crush like the tyrant. Instead, he walks the narrow road between authority and compassion. He can command her respect with a glance, yet melt her defenses with a touch. It is this paradox, strength entwined with tenderness, that enslaves her heart in ways neither weakness nor tyranny could ever achieve. Let me reveal a secret hidden in plain sight. Women test men endlessly. They push boundaries not because they seek destruction, but because they seek balance. When she provokes you, she is not asking for rage, nor is she asking for surrender. She is asking to know if you can remain unshaken, firm yet composed, dominant yet controlled. The weak man collapses into apology, the tyrant explodes into fury. But the man of balance smiles, stands his ground, and shows that he cannot be swayed by petty storms. That man becomes irresistible, for he embodies the stability she cannot create within herself. This balance must permeate every action. In your words, you must be neither silent nor overbearing. In your affection, you must give enough to kindle fire, but never so much that it consumes the room. In your presence, you must be dependable, yet never so predictable that she forgets to value you. Authority without care is a cage. Care without authority is a leash. But when you give both, freedom under your rule, affection under your command, you give her the very thing she craves but cannot admit structure without suffocation. History once again teaches us, great rulers who held their empires for decades did not govern only with the sword. They knew when to show mercy, when to offer generosity, when to temper authority with grace. Their enemies respected them because they feared their strength, but their people loved them because they felt their protection. This same principle governs the realm of women. To keep her begging, she must both respect and adore you, both fear losing you and trust your presence. This duality is what enslaves her far more than any one extreme. The art of balance also lies in emotional control. A man who cannot master his emotions will never master hers. If you grow enraged at the slightest offense, you are not powerful, you are fragile, for she can manipulate you at will. If you are endlessly forgiving, you are not kind. You are spineless, for she will trample you without guilt. But if you can remain calm while standing firm, if you can correct her without cruelty, if you can guide her without begging, then you show her that you are not her equal in chaos, but her master in control. Do not confuse this with indifference. Indifference kills desire, balance feeds it. You must show her enough affection that she knows she matters, but never so much that she feels she has conquered you. You must deny her enough that she chases, but never so much that she despairs and flees. You must discipline when she oversteps, but never with the intent to crush her spirit, only to remind her of your strength. Every gesture must hold weight, every decision must show measure, for in this measured rhythm lies the music of power. And what happens when a man perfects this balance? He becomes the axis around which her emotions turn. She feels safe in his strength, yet alive in his unpredictability. She knows he will not collapse under pressure, yet she also knows he will not harden into stone. He becomes a fortress and a flame, a king and a lover, a master and a comfort. This balance is so rare that when a woman finds it, she clings to it desperately, for she knows she may never find it again. And in this desperation, she begs, not out of fear, not out of manipulation, but out of the deep hunger for the rarest of men. To achieve this, you must constantly study yourself. Ask, where have I given too much? Where have I withheld too much? When did my strength turn to harshness? When did my kindness turn to weakness? The fool never asks these questions, the tyrant never cares to ask, but the strategist always adjusts. He is firm when firmness is needed, gentle when gentleness is called for. He never loses sight of the fact that his power is not built on domination alone, nor on affection alone, but on the fusion of both, for it is only in this fusion that the throne of desire is secured. Desire is not a flame that burns forever on its own, left unchecked. It either consumes too quickly and dies, or it grows cold and disappears. To command it, you must master the rhythm of giving and taking, of warmth and distance, of reward and withdrawal. This is the fourth hidden rule, and it is the dance that makes women not only love you but beg for you. For no woman begs for what is always given. She begs for what is rare, for what she fears may be taken away. Consider the hunter and the prey. If the animal is caught too easily, there is no thrill in the hunt, no glory in the capture. The prey that escapes, that makes the hunter chase, becomes the most exhilarating prize. So it is with women. If you pour affection endlessly, if you give without measure, she will quickly consume it and grow numb to its sweetness. But if you grant affection sparingly, if you reward her when she has earned it and withdraw it when she grows entitled, her desire sharpens, her hunger intensifies, and her mind becomes restless. She begins to crave you as one craves air when drowning. Understand this law: women do not value abundance, they value contrast. It is not your constant presence that enslaves them, but the shifting tension between presence and absence. When you give her your warmth after she has longed for it, the sensation is magnified 100-fold. When you withhold after she has grown accustomed to your favor, the emptiness terrifies her, for she feels what it is like to lose you. This oscillation, between fire and ice, between closeness and distance, is the very mechanism by which you seize her will. The weak man cannot bear this game. He gives everything too soon, afraid that withholding will drive her away. But in doing so, he kills her desire, for there is no challenge, no mystery, no tension left. The tyrant, on the other hand, withholds endlessly, offering no reward at all. He believes that denial alone will bind her, but this only breeds resentment, bitterness, and eventual escape. The master knows that the true art lies in balance. He gives just enough to spark fire, then withdraws to let it grow. He offers his presence as a rare privilege, then disappears so she longs for more. He rewards when it is deserved and withdraws when it is not. This cycle keeps her bound more tightly than chains of iron. You must see affection not as a duty but as a weapon. Your touch, your words, your time. These are currencies of power. To give them freely is to devalue them. To ration them with wisdom is to turn them into treasures. A woman will fight, plead, even beg for treasures. She will never beg for what lies scattered at her feet in excess. Therefore, your warmth must be given like gold coins, sparingly at moments of greatest impact. And when you withdraw, it must be like the silence of a king whose favor has been lost, felt, feared, and longed for. History shows us this pattern. Leaders who rewarded too freely lost authority, for their gifts became expected. But those who alternated between generosity and sternness held loyalty for a lifetime. Their subjects feared losing their favor, yet cherished receiving it. This very principle applies to love. Women are not different from nations in this regard. If you are only strict, she will revolt. If you are only indulgent, she will exploit. But if you weave indulgence with denial, favor with withdrawal, she will remain bound to you, unable to predict when the sweetness will come again. The power of withdrawal cannot be underestimated. Silence after intimacy speaks louder than 1,000 words. Distance after passion makes passion immortal. When you leave her after giving her only a taste, she does not sleep peacefully. She tosses, she thinks, She replays your touch, your words, your presence. She grows desperate for the return of what you took away. This desperation is the soil in which begging is born. She does not merely want you back. She needs you back. And when a woman needs, she chases, she surrenders, she begs. But remember this, withdrawal without reward is cruelty, and reward without withdrawal is weakness. Both extremes will destroy the spell. The art lies in rhythm. Imagine a dance: step forward, step back, advance, retreat. If you only advance, she stumbles. If you only retreat, she loses interest. But if you master the rhythm, if you move in and out with precision, she follows your lead endlessly, intoxicated by the uncertainty of the next step. She does not know when you will embrace or when you will release, and this uncertainty is what chains her to your rhythm. This rhythm must be maintained in every form of connection. In conversation, give her moments of deep attention, then drift into silence. In affection, shower her with warmth, then suddenly grow cool. In presence, spend time that feels unforgettable, then vanish into your purpose. Each withdrawal carves hunger into her heart, and each reward soothes that hunger only enough to make her crave it again. It is not cruelty. It is design. It is not manipulation. It is mastery. You are not playing with her for amusement. You are commanding her desire with the same precision a general commands his troops. And here lies the secret: most men will never grasp you. Women are not repelled by this cycle. They are enslaved by it. Their hearts thrive on contrast, on the agony of longing followed by the ecstasy of fulfillment. Without it, they grow bored, restless, detached. With it, they become addicted, bound, desperate. She may protest, she may complain, but beneath the words her spirit craves the uncertainty, for it awakens emotions that no constant comfort ever could. She will beg not because you forced her, but because her own heart cannot endure the rhythm you have imposed without surrender. Think of fire. Too much wood smothers it, too little, and it dies. But feed it in intervals, at the right time and the right amount, and it burns endlessly, growing brighter with each spark. So it is with desire. You must not suffocate it with abundance, nor starve it with neglect. You must feed it with careful rhythm, always enough to keep it alive, never enough to make it complacent. When you master this, you no longer chase desire, it chases you. She no longer asks if you love her, she begs for the love you withhold. She no longer questions if she matters, she clings to every moment of favor you grant her. She is trapped in the cycle, and the more she tries to escape it, the deeper she falls. The final hidden rule is the crown upon all the others, the secret that separates men who are merely loved from men who are worshipped. Women may desire mystery, they may crave scarcity, they may surrender to balance, they may beg under the rhythm of reward and withdrawal. But none of these can endure if you fail at this one law: your purpose must always stand above her. This is the fifth hidden rule, and it is the reason why kings are remembered while countless lovers are forgotten. A man who abandons his mission for a woman loses both. A man who holds to his mission above all makes women fight for a place within it. Understand this clearly: women are not drawn to men who orbit around them like satellites. They are drawn to men who blaze like suns, around whom all things revolve. The man who makes a woman his only purpose soon finds she grows restless, for she senses his dependence. He has placed her on the throne of his life, and nothing kills desire faster than a man who has no greater throne than her approval. She may enjoy the power for a moment, but her heart soon grows cold, for he has made himself smaller than her, and women do not beg for what is beneath them. But the man who is driven by destiny, who places his purpose before all else, becomes irresistible. He is not consumed by her moods, nor enslaved by her whims, for his eyes are fixed on something higher. He is like the conqueror who builds empires, the poet who carves immortality into words, the merchant who amasses wealth, the general who leads armies. His mission makes him more than a lover, it makes him a force. And women, whether they admit it or not, are drawn to forces. They are drawn to men who cannot be fully owned, men who belong first to their purpose, and only then to them. This does not mean neglect. It does not mean you treat her as nothing. It means you treat her as part of your kingdom, never the kingdom itself. She is a jewel in your crown, but she is not the crown. She may walk beside you, but she must never become the path you walk upon. For the moment you make her the path, she will lead you astray, and once you are astray, her respect dies. Without respect, love collapses. Without respect, desire suffocates. She cannot beg for the man she does not respect, and she cannot respect the man who kneels before her throne while abandoning his own. History tells this tale again and again. Consider the rulers who sacrificed their empires for the love of a woman. For a time, their passion was praised. But when the empire fell, when power slipped through their fingers, even the women they abandoned it all for ceased to admire them. Contrast this with the men who never wavered, who placed their throne above all. Their names are remembered in stone, and women fought, schemed, and begged to stand at their side. For women are drawn not to the man who abandons power, but to the man who holds it no matter the cost. This rule also reveals why the ambitious man always has women at his feet. For his purpose consumes him, and in consuming him, it creates scarcity, it creates mystery, it creates power. A woman must compete not against other women alone, but against his mission itself, and nothing awakens her desperation more than the knowledge that she is not his highest prize. She will fight to prove her value. She will beg for his attention. She will mold herself to fit into his vision, not because he demanded it, but because she knows that his purpose is a throne she cannot overthrow, only serve. The weak man asks, "How can I keep her?" The strong man asks, "How can I advance my destiny?" And by advancing his destiny, he keeps her naturally, for she does not want the man who kneels. She wants the man who ascends. This is why women are fascinated by men of power, by men of vision, by men who stand apart. They sense that such men are not prisoners of love, but rulers of it. They cannot be begged into abandoning their path, and this very resistance makes women beg to be part of it. And here lies the paradox: when you do not place her first, she will try harder to earn her place. When you do not revolve around her, she will revolve around you. When you are consumed by your mission, she will be consumed by you, for she knows that if she loses you, she loses not just a man, but a vision, a future, a force greater than herself. The man who sacrifices his throne for her becomes ordinary. The man who never abandons his throne becomes extraordinary, and extraordinary men are the ones women fight over, cry over, beg for. Think also of how this transforms your own spirit. A man without purpose is like a ship without a captain, drifting aimlessly until it crashes upon the rocks. Such a man cannot command himself, let alone command a woman. But the man with purpose moves with direction, weight, with authority. His presence speaks of destiny, his silence of focus, his actions of inevitability. A woman who stands beside such a man feels not only desire but also pride, for she is tied to a force that moves the world forward. And in that pride lies her loyalty, her devotion, her desperation to remain part of his journey. This rule demands sacrifice. You will be tempted to abandon your mission when love whispers in your ear, when her tears fall, when her pleas demand your attention. But you must not break. For once you sacrifice your purpose for her, you give away the very thing that made her desire you. She will see your devotion not as love, but as weakness. She will take a yes, but she will no longer beg for it. And slowly she will drift, searching again for the man who has a throne, for the man who will not bend. To hold her, you must hold yourself. To rule her, you must rule your path. To make her beg, you must make her see that your purpose is greater than both of you. Think of the mountain. It does not move for the wind. It does not kneel for the rain. The wind bends to it. The rain flows around it. The seasons change upon it. But the mountain stands unmoved. And because it stands unmoved, it becomes sacred, a place of pilgrimage, a place of reverence. So too must you be. She may storm, she may cry, she may beg, but you must remain fixed upon your summit. For in that immovability, she sees your power. In that immovability, she sees her own smallness. And in that immovability, she begins not only to love you, but to beg for you. And so, we arrive at the truth that men often ignore, the truth hidden beneath centuries of desire, manipulation, and power. Women do not beg for the ordinary man who gives everything freely. They beg for the man who withholds, the man who shapes their hunger through mystery, scarcity, balance, rhythm, and above all, purpose. These 5 rules are not tricks, nor are they games. They are the laws of power as old as kingdoms themselves. To master them is not merely to master women, but to master yourself. For when you understand that mystery keeps her guessing, scarcity keeps her chasing, balance keeps her respecting, rhythm keeps her addicted, and purpose keeps her worshiping, you will see that her heart is not won through blind devotion but through disciplined rule. Women may resist, they may test, they may try to sway you. But in the end, they are drawn to the man who governs himself, and through that governance, governs them. That is why the weak complain of betrayal, while the strong are begged for loyalty. That is why the forgotten fade into the crowd, while the remembered stand above it as legends. Do not mistake this as cruelty. It is simply the nature of power and desire. A woman does not beg because you love her like every other man does. She begs because you stand above every other man she has ever known. You become not merely a lover, but a king. And kings are not chosen, they are pursued, obeyed, and worshipped. Master these 5 hidden rules, and you will no longer ask how to win a woman. Instead, you will watch as she begs not to lose you,